Good morning, Reed here, back at Orchestra Farm. It's a glorious early August summer day. It's cool. We're expecting some showers today. Loving that. We could really use the rain. Now it's funny though, like when you look out here, it doesn't look like we need the rain. But where I live, it is parched and dry. And you know, that there's an interesting thing with those differences, right? One place it's wet, one place it's parched and dry. And you know, most of my videos on here, they get, somewhere between 25 and 100 views. And I don't know, maybe a little bit ago I had one about our shields. How we protect ourselves in any different given situation. And if you live in a city, you have a different set of shields than someone who lives in the countryside. And the idea of like being able to put one down. So I'm at my men's group last night, and we're talking about the shadow. And how, let's say you're like a shy person, there may be times when you are putting forward, being really extroverted. Oh, that's a huge zucchini. Let's see. Do I see it in there? It's actually hard to see from here. Anyway, there's a big zucchini. You just take my word for it. And, if you're, a softie, you might put forward some aggression to protect yourself, kind of a deal. There's all kinds of different ways that these shadow aspects play out. And as I was driving to work thinking about this, I was like, essentially that shadow type stuff is a form of a shield. Whoa, there's a rabbit. That was cool. Oh, here we go. We're going to see a big squash now. And, in my life, I have often just I need to really zoom it back out. There we go. There's a squash. There's another big one in there. I don't know. You seeing that? It's in there. I've often leaned into uncomfortable situations. I have a practice that I used to do very regularly, wherein I would find clothes that I would never wear, and I would wear them to, very social events. And then I would get to notice how I got to be different versions of myself because we're changing how I viewed myself. And there's a notion out there currently of, I think they call it the comfort crisis. How we're just too comfortable for our own good. Now that's interesting. This zucchini is detached. Oh, let me go like that. Look at that one. And there's this huge one on the ground. Oh, and there's another one. In fact, that one's detached too. I'll pick that up too. My arm's gonna be heavy today. And by leaning away from all the comforts, oh my god, there's way more of them. In fact, this one's kind of rotten. The first one I picked up. That curiosity of, it takes more things to make me uncomfortable than it did before I embraced the things that I found awkward, uncomfortable, inconvenient. And I want to mesh with this, the notion of how much most of our lives have become so convenient, Oh, there's my bucket. I need that for picking blueberries later. Just leave that there. And this piece around when we don't embrace discomfort and inconvenience, we end up developing all these other aspects, which I might call inappropriate shields, or some people might call them masks. And how that actually, it puts up a big detriment to actually living, to actually being real. And I am right now doing 100 kettlebell swings 4 times a week. It takes about 4 minutes to do that. 4 minutes is not a long time, but I actually find it uncomfortable. After about a minute to a minute and a half on a good day, I'm like, oh God, when will this be over? And doing that thing that's challenging does actually make the rest of my day feel a bit easier. And having done these things that were uncomfortable, it feels like it makes my life easier. And having done things that were inconvenient, once again, makes a lot of things in life that are otherwise uncomfortable or inconvenient feel manageable. And so we're at this point of we have to choose it, and to me that requires us to be grown-ups, because there's all kinds of things in life that are just like, oh geez, I gotta do this thing now. Whoops, that was funny. And the person I was listening to today was talking about how at a certain point in like living your life, you get to a point where it becomes maintenance, and how maintenance is not all that interesting. And so compared to like all the cool novel stuff that one could do, maintenance is, and I hate to say the word, sometimes kind of boring. But it's also challenging to stay up on. It's not always comfortable. It's not always convenient. And by doing that, we stay up on being able to live our life in a good way into the future. So I'm curious, what are the things that are uncomfortable in your life? What's the inconveniences that are present? What are you challenging yourself with? Let me know in the comments below this, or send me an email. You can check out my website, bendingreeds.com, to find out more about that. And if you're looking for a way to slow down and have presence in your day, check out my tea ritual guide available on my website. And with that, have too much fun.